Day 2, it's time for Europe. It's time for EU here, and we're going to start things off with a new team, two teams that have not really had much experience in the RLCS of late, missed last season, but back here, and they're going to try and make waves against each other to start things off.
Yes, and I, for one, as you said before, Veloce, not supposed to be here, but they have found their way up into the RLCS via some unconventional means, to say the least, due to Triple Trouble disbanding. But one remains, Cassio. He's worked his way onto Veloce with Freaky and Flame, and I'm a lot on this side of the desk. I'm glad to see Flame finally return to the RLCS, and I look for him to sort of be kind of like a player like Atomic. You know, it's like he's a brilliantly mechanically gifted player.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see this happen. Flame, back in Season 4, I believe he played on Secret, a team that went 0-7, if I remember correctly. So they didn't win a single game that particular season. Those guys needed a. We'll see if he's able to get his first RLCS win here in Season 8. Freaky, a player who has been to LAN a few times, but has had very little experience past that. So an RLCS veteran, absolutely, started back on Penta in, I don't remember which season that was, 2 or 3.
Ancient times.
I think it was a long time ago. Freaky, I tell this story every time I get to talk about him on RLCS. He was the very first person that subbed to me on Twitch.tv. So I remember seeing him because we were casting the qualifiers.
You really like Freaky.
And I was like, that's the guy. That's the guy. I know him. You know, and to see him have stuck around, and I've heard Gibbs talk about freaking how, like, you know, like, I feel like this is a guy who's going to at some point fall off, right? Like he's here, he's hanging on the coattails of other people, he's just hanging around. But no, season after season, he builds a roster around himself. It manages to stay in Rival Series, manages to stay in the RLCS. Let's get into game number 1, folks. It's Complexity versus Veloce here. Some old names of yore on both sides of the ball. Greasy Meister, Season 2 World Champion.
You're absolutely right.
Flipside Tactics.
It really is the game of people who were in the RLCS a long time ago, and it's sort of the, you know, Phoenix from the Ashes story.
What year is it?
A lot of them, yeah.
As we see Veloce in the orange, Complexity in the blue. Start off with Greasy here in the corner. Freaky with an air ball there. Cassio will follow this one. He's got a little bit of boost to work with, but runs out towards the end of the flight. Greasy now pushes it across midfield. A nice take from Magnus to keep this one in the center. And Cassio with a miss. Flame has to fall back and cover for his teammate here. He's now getting challenged by Flakes, and he'll have the read, looking for it to set it up. Oh, Cross nearly did it by himself. His teammates were pretty far back as well. He was going to have to do it by himself, but no goal yet for Complexity.
I'm actually pretty curious how Magnus is going to play, because he was a guy that I thought was going to get picked up around the time when Old Method disbanded as well, because he was such a strong force on that team in terms of generating assists, some goal-scoring opportunities, so we'll see if he has any success today.
Complexity, one of the earliest teams that was super consistent.
Yeah.
Just held off from championships by the uber consistency of the dynasty that eventually became Dignitas. Cassio back out here. This ball kind of just lofted in the midfield. Flame will put it in, and what a shot! Cassio sees the opportunity. One false touch in the midfield strikes disaster for Complexity.
Yeah, Greasy just trying to get that long clear back up the pitch so his teammate could pick up the midfield boost and turn right around, and Complexity would be on offense, but the slight mistiming got it on the wrong part of the car, tipped it up. Flame to Cassio to the back of the net.
That puts Veloce on the board first. Cassio now with Freaky looking for goalies. He's able to harass Flakes, but no goal comes of it. Freaky rocking the new Fennec. This has been the first season we've gotten to see Fenix in RLCS play.
Yep.
So we had not yet had Chalset bring it into light until DreamHack Valencia. Pass from Flakes into the midfield. Nobody home to take the shot. It's an absolutely wonderful setup.
Ooh.
There's Flame, the pass in the midfield. Again, no pressure on the rest of Veloce.
It was really quite surprising as well. Flame had a great pass. He saw all of Complexity back off, so he said, great. Strong infield pass coming, and the fact nobody was there, a bit concerning in my eyes.
Neutral 50-50 to the side. Magnus, the only one in the area. Picks up control, gets it underneath one. It's a nice bounce back off the corner. Flakes a shot, misses. Greasy comes in, but the defense finally is able to get their wits about them. A follow-up shot from Magnus, saved by Cassio. And now the rotation back out, down the corner, using the wall all the way. He'll look for the pass here, gets it out towards Freaky, but Flakes was able to intercept, and now back to midfield. Complexity still looking for that first goal. A shot from Cassio from midfield, defended by Greasy. There's no transition, though. Freaky again with another opportunity to shoot. Flakes will be in the way this time. And now Flame off the backboard. This one will bounce out. Where's the pressure? Nobody's home as Freaky tried to rotate across the midfield, cutting off the third man, and now he's got to play defense.
Wow, Magnus had a wide open net off the demo on Casio, but he just didn't square the ball up, and now it's back the other way. Time continues to tick for Veloce. Booming clear, though.
Nice shot. A bit high, but Freaky able to send it to the side. Some help from Flame. That one gets it through an open net right now, but Casio's able to get there before Magnus could put it in the net.
Double commit from Complexity. Again, another wide open chance for Complexity they don't capitalize on.
Magnus has control. The pass to Flakes. It's up. It's beat the first defender in the air. Flakes falls to try and hold on to this. See if he can get the back pass to Greasy. Leaves it for him. And now the pinch goes off the ceiling and back down. Magnus doesn't make contact in the midfield, but Flakes has space. Complexity will hold on to control, but now the challenge from Casio. Back into the blue, and Greasy beats him on the wall. A back and forth affair kind of in this middle third of the field. Nobody really getting control.
And I am really liking the approach from both teams. You know, if anyone's got space, immediately they'll try and shut it down. Like Flame sees Greasy slow the ball down and tries to say, all right, you're figuring yourself to go up the wall. Just make sure I get myself there. They don't want to let anyone, you know, beat someone in the midfield.
White the pinch there. All the way to the Veloce corner, but in the final minute, now Veloce pressing again. A lot of space for Freaky, but Magnus makes the save. Casio up on the challenge, is beaten in the midfield by Complexity, and now into Veloce's corner. Flame gets it over one, but still near the box. A demolition on the goalie. It's dropping down. Casio's got it out. The shot it was going to have to bounce a few more times to go in the goal. And now Flame looking for a counterattack. He's got Freaky in the midfield here. Flakes is in between the two of them, and he'll carry it to the corner. Now Casio in the backfield, able to get underneath that front line offense. 23 seconds left, only a one-goal game. Complexity just needs one moment of offensive brilliance to tie this back up and send us to overtime.
Well, they've had a couple moments with some wide open nets. Here's a chance, bounce in front. Casio makes the read off the wall.
Get it away. Veloce, 10 seconds left, pushing up. A win in front of the box. Flakes in his own corner, being challenged by Freaky, loses control, and he loses it to Magnus as well. Greasy puts this high. There's one player up, but Casio's got them red. It'll drop into the corner. Greasy keeps it off the ground. Flakes helps as well, but it eventually does touch. And Veloce takes the first win here in RLCS for Europe.
And, you know, you ask me, I consider it a little bit fortunate. There were two real solid goal-scoring opportunities for Complexity. That last one that was up near the ceiling, I can forgive not putting that one in the back of the net. But absolutely two chances this game that Complexity should have just drilled into the net on wide open chances.
This was the only goal that we saw here. It was a Flame to Casio pass. Brilliant heads-up play from Casio to get there to secure that one. It was just wide.
Because it really wasn't not a well-placed ball at all by Flame, to be honest. I mean, Greasy, was it Greasy? I'm not sure. Either way, one of the players on Complexity might have had a chance at that save because he had the right side because of how the ball was touched forward.
Well, and there was also both players rotating on the left side. I feel like there was a small window where it was a free goal. So I think, honestly, that the play worked out pretty well to put it just to the side, let Casio help redirect it there. But still, I mean, it's a much higher risk, lower reward sort of situation. And it works out, though. They get that first goal, get a win. You only need one to win. So Complexity now looking to tie it back up in Game 2.
Yeah, and Complexity's got their work cut out for them. But I honestly feel like, you know, that was just the classic Game 1. Everyone has to lock themselves back in, you know. So kind of like how G2 was yesterday. They got decimated Game 1.
Yeah.
It was not pretty at all. So I'm kind of expecting sort of the same thing here from Complexity. I think Game 2 rolls around. Flakes, Magnus, and Greasy, they'll all make stronger touches on the ball, and Veloce is going to have to fight a lot harder. Yeah,
I feel like Complexity had it. I hope it's first game jitters. There was a significant amount of just like air balls, just whiffs. We saw a few from Veloce as well, but just people just going up for balls. It's like you usually, as a professional Rocket League player, should at least
hit the ball.
At least make contact, even if it's not good contact and just completely missing. So we'll see how they clean things up in game number 2. But yeah, the Veloce. This is such an interesting situation to be in for this team, right? This is a team that felt the sadness of losing barely, of just barely missing out on making it into RLCS, and then mid-off season finds out, no, you are going to get that opportunity to play. And like, what goes through a player's mind in a situation like that, where you're having to do this like big 180 of like, you know, it's kind of consoling yourselves to the fact that you're going to play in Rival Series another season when you were so excited to make it to RLCS, and then all of a sudden having to prepare to play against the best in your region.
Well, I think for players like Flame, it's something that is very fortunate, and it's same for Freaky, because Freaky has already been in the RLCS multiple seasons. Flame has been there before, and there's been constant pressure on him to make it back. Casio has also been there as well. It's like they've all been in this RLCS arena, so it's devastating for players who have been at the top, get knocked down, not requalify, and think we're gonna have to play, however many seasons until we find ourselves in a winning position to be in the top 2, and then we have to beat another 2 teams. So it's kind of just getting out of that mental mindset and be like, oh, a team disbanded, you've auto-qualified. Well, perfect. Let's go do it.
I mean, this would be crazy too, because like this would be the Cinderella story of a lifetime.
Oh, would it?
Like, and the funny thing is, we just saw like one of the greatest Cinderella stories in Rocket League with the Peeps winning at DreamHack Montreal and then getting picked up by the Knights, and are now, we heard it from the desk yesterday, all of their dark horse favorites to be our 4th team representing North America at Worlds. So that'll be interesting to see if they make it there, but. Yeah, like if this would be better. This would be like
Veloce comes top 2, guarantees LAN.
Yeah, like to have gone from barely missing out on LAN to being to win, and I mean it would be a great testament to the thing that everyone's been saying online, and to the change for next season of expanding to 10 teams.
But to be fair, they really do have some work to do, because there's a reason that they got bumped out of the rival series. There's down to the rival series. There's a reason they haven't been able to requalify. So, it's very fortunate that Triple Trouble sort of shattered itself apart and you wound your way back into the RLCS, but. You better have put in the work if you don't want to wind back up there.
Yeah, for sure. And folks, the players were just sorting out a competitive integrity issue. I think it's all been solved. We should be getting to the game shortly here for game number 2. As we all want to watch Rocket League, there should be some more Rocket League on the docket today. It'll be a lot of fun matches. After this one, we'll have Barcelona taking on Reciprocity.
Yes.
Some roster changes there. A new org. Excited to see Reciprocity in RLCS. But before we get there, we got to get through this first match. So I think game number 2 is ready to go here. Let's do it. Complexity going to be looking to bounce back after losing game 1, but only one goal. Only one goal has been scored in Europe so far.
And it really is just to tighten the screws a little bit here for Complexity, and I feel like it'll go better.
Flame to the back wall. Magnus there. Clearing it away. Just to follow his own touch. Pinch goes to Casio, and the ball stays in midfield. Now Greasy. The top of one. Flakes. Put back in the corner. Freaky keeps this ball nice and high. Greasy finds a counter touch in midfield, but the ball still makes its way into his back third. Flakes demolished in his corners. Flame lofts it high, and Casio gets another one. Greasy demolished as well. 2 players down, and we'll see if Veloce can press the issue. No, actually, 2 of them hanging back far in their own territory. Freaky the only one who was advancing on that momentary power play.
Second time this series, there's been opportunity and a lack of presence in the middle of the pitch, and here's a double commit now too, so that'll slow them down a little bit.
That was an extreme double commit, but they did get solid power on the ball, which gives them time to get back down. Now Flame on the side, Flakes, the soft touch into the corner. Freaky's got the clear, he's fallen himself, but Greasy's out, and Flame has left the building. We'll see how if and when he comes back.
We'll find out why. But until then, we play on, and actually, yes.
We'll stop.
So we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
when Flame returns, we will let you know, and then we'll continue on with the series. So Veloce and Complexity, and again, you touched on it a little bit. A little bit of lack of pressure from Veloce. So because we saw a little bit of that in game 1, they had a chance to really put a lot of pressure on Complexity, and the fact that the offense really isn't on the same page, because that's really the key to having a strong offense in Rocket League, If you have one guy win a challenge in the midfield and has an uncontested touch somewhere on the opposing team's half, you need to have somebody there. It's so important, because otherwise you're wasting your time and you've given up possession.
Yeah, for sure. And we are just waiting to solve that player connection issue, get them back in the lobby, and we'll get game 2 back underway here. It is interesting to watch situations. We talk about double commits all the time as being this bad thing, and the badness of a double commit is related to how high they are, how much boost did they expend to get there, how long is it going to take them to recover from it, and how poorly did they hit the the ball when they hit the ball. And in this situation like the one we just saw, like they clear it to the corner very solidly. It mainly means they can't make use of that touch because they are so open and they need to recover. But if they were to have missed, that's almost a guaranteed goal for complexity.
Exactly. It really is a sliding scale of severity for double commits. But, it's like best case scenario, like the one we saw in this game. 2 players double commit from their own half. It's a booming clear. Well, that's basically the same thing as one person pushed the ball at pitch after winning a challenge in the midfield and nobody was there to support. So you've basically just given up possession. But it's manageable. It's far more manageable than, we've both went for this, and we've missed the ball, and now we've left our teammate in a 2-on-1. Perfect.
The one poor person on the ground, like, oh dear, what's about to happen here? And it is a situation of, all right, where we have people moving, like the players up in the field. Imagine if it had just been the one. If it hadn't been the 2 players up, if it had just been the 1 player up, then you're in a situation where that's actually a really solid clear to the corner. The entire team, because the other thing that clears do, especially like the value of a clear is keeping the ball near the ceiling. The longer time the ball spends near the ceiling, the more the other team is like, well, we just have to fall back. Like it's very difficult to challenge a ball that is nearly rolling across the ceiling like so. And are we ready to get in the game? I think they're restarting the game at 3:36.
All right,
kickoff here. So this will not nobody scored and nobody was near to scoring. So this seems fair and appropriate.
But to your point,
and game 2 is underway.
Clearing the ball high, out to the side, make the shooting angle as small as possible. Valuable.
Absolutely. Let's see if anybody can make use of all that knowledge we just dropped on them here now in game 2. As Greasy looks to double tap it, didn't quite find the touch. And now Flame moving up. Flakes over to the side. It gets it past 1 and past 2. It's just Flame in the backfield now, and he gets a nice solid clear. Magnus now back towards Greasy, looking for the counterattack, and they look for the interception but didn't find it. Flame misses as well, but he's able to get enough in the way that Greasy's looking for the dunk, and neither really gets what they want.
Ooh, huge
now
block though from Freaky though.
Oh, Greasy though, the corner had the response. Now Flame back into the corner once more. He gets a second touch across the goal, but it's off the post, and then Cassio's touch goes off Flame. Now Freaky up onto the backboard. Did anyone rotate in? Cassio tries, but now out of boost. It's all up to Flame. And he'll have a bit of space. Gets it nice and high. Buys time for his teammates to get back.
And that was such a great play from Veloce because it was that big challenge from Freaky in the midfield. Those are those critical challenges we get to talk about. You stop the clear attempt, you catch the other team pushing forward, but you get the ball going back towards their own half, and then they're in a terrible spot to deal with your attack. And unfortunately, the follow-up shots, not accurate.
Greasy through 1. Flakes in the corner. As Cassio. Freaky now. Alone with the ball. And a fake on the wall to get it past 1. The second touch is a little bit more easily read, and Magnus actually on the rotation back in gets a demolition.
Oh, look at him go!
Cassio's just not going to be able to find contact, and that's complexity with their first goal and the lead.
This is Magnus making big plays. The demo there on the side of the pitch to take out the player who can challenge the ball first, and then Cassio had to jump early because Magnus was in his phase too. So just an excellent job from Magnus opening a clear window and turning it into a scoring chance.
The trail was blue as well. I think there's a chance he actually dunked that off of Cassio. Cassio might have even had the clear without Magnus's interception. So solid play. It's complexity. Finally on the board with 1 minute and 40 left to go here in game 2. And now an open backfield. Flame will get there in time. Freaky gets demolished though. This creates some pressure. Here's Greasy with a shot and a save from Cassio to send it away. Freaky and Flame now advancing on the counterattack. A miss on the corner. Magnus advancing once more towards the backboard. It's Cassio and Flame on a double commit. Cassio goes to the corner, but can Greasy and company find the shot? Greasy up over 1, looking for the dribble, and then just loses control. Now Magnus in, lost to Freaky in the midfield. Veloce looking to tie up the game. A nice touch off the wall. Cassio passes down and in, but Flame wasn't to him.
Just a little off the mark, though, but it was a great press. When there's another double commit, and here's exactly like that. 2 players push, you leave him in the one-on-one. Magnus! Oh, no! He had everything perfect. Just didn't hit the ball hard enough.
Just needed one last small touch to tuck it around the post. A bump from Flame to clear the goalie clean out of the net, but there was nobody there to take the shot. The first setup hit the crossbar. And Complexity's holding on to this 1-goal lead. Now Cassio over the front, Flakes through 1. Now with Flame to deal with in the backfield. Up to the corner, off the ceiling, able to make use of the flip. Tries to use it a second time, but Greasy
Nice.
Gets it out to midfield, but then gets tucked away. Freaky and Flame, 2 demolitions. It's just a 1v3. One clear comes through. Greasy on the respawn, finds it. Flakes on the respawn, finds the counter touch, and now they're back on offense. With 9 seconds left, they're holding on to the lead. Back in front, Freaky's there, but loses a challenge to Magnus, and that should be the ball game here. So he'll be able to slow this down in the corner, waste all the time, and a miss won't help. There it touches the ground, and Complexity wins game 2.
I would like to say handedly, but unfortunately, Magnus, you make me sad because you didn't score that beautiful dribble.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It was still a much better game than game 1 was for Complexity because they held Veloce onto their own half. Veloce had a couple of great goal-scoring opportunities, like that first one with Freaky made the big block, and then Cassio just wasn't able to put the ball in between the goalposts and shot it wide, and it tipped off Flame. But yeah, I think you're right. Magnus, I think, got a piece of that.
I hope we get to see a second angle here. No, it's not going to happen. But pretty crazy goal there. Well done. And I mean, even without Magnus there, Cassio a little bit upfield. I think he just was not anticipating his frontline defense to lose.
Yeah, because he got demoed in the mid. Because he was pushing forward, and then Magnus demoed the guy in the midfield. So he kind of really had to readjust there and try and play the defense in the best way he could in a terrible position.
Well, game 3 inbound, and right now tied up at a game apiece and a goal apiece. This has been as low scoring a series as is possible, but we can't possibly have the lowest scoring series of all time, which is 3 goals, because we've had a team each win a game. So we're guaranteed at least game 4. So we'll have at least 4 goals, chat. So don't worry, we'll get at least 2 more there. But yeah, so far, is there anybody that you've been? I want to see more of Greasy Meister. I want to see the world champ really leading his team here.
It's kind of interesting you say that, because I, despite seeing Complexity play in a couple of DreamHacks off season, I still don't really know how Greasy fits into a team like this. You know, I see a lot of flakes, at least during the offseason. It was give flakes the ball, good things happen. Well, a couple more DreamHacks happened, and that stopped working. So it's like, all right. Since then, I haven't really felt like Complexity has been this super dominating force. And it's like, well, because Greasy's a guy that former world champion, you know, he's got a lot of experience, but I never fully understand if he fits into that bruiser role that people like to classify him as, because I don't feel like he's sitting here going for bumps and demos. He's kind of just the, all right, I'll go for, you know, whatever. To me, he still plays like that Season 2, Season 3 flip side where just challenge the ball and smash your face into it and good things happen. It's just like, it's bad. It's not bad, but I don't think it's amazing.
I mean, when he's had to adapt to some degree, it's funny, if you go back and watch like Season 2 Grand Finals or Season 3 Grand Finals, you'll be like, why are they playing so slow? Like, it was such a different game
it
just
really
a few
was.
years ago. So it's an interesting thing to think about, the players who have been able to stick around, especially your players like Cookster and Kronovi, who not only were playing here in Rocket League, but were playing in the prequel games with supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars. Like, these guys have had to evolve with the pace of the game over the course of nearly a decade now. And they've managed to stay at the top level of play. So what Greasy has managed to keep himself relevant, but I don't think the play styles of ages gone by of previous seasons is going to hold up in a game that is as much about tenths of a second as this game is.
Well, tell you what. This entire next game, I'm going to park my camera on Greasy Meister. I'm going to be like, all right, what do you do on this team? Because I obviously I know he contributes, you know. It's just, you know, you can look at a team like Cloud9 and you're like, Torment, he does this. Squishy, he helps Gimmick, he does this, you know. It's like they tend towards things.
And then Torment becomes a striker, so you know, just everything changes.
It's like, I look at Complexity and I'm just like,
who does what around here?
You all do things.
You all do things pretty well. Yes, then right now they are, by the way, they're making sure that they're trying to like secure the competitive situation, make sure that every connection, we had the one disconnect last game, they're trying to do what they can to make sure that doesn't happen again, so we can just play some good old-fashioned Rocket League here. But so you got a prediction for this matchup at this point? After getting to watch 2 games, which were super like even. I feel like just like one goal slipped in both directions. Does either team have an edge yet in a specific area of the field or a specific
I'm still
player?
Leaning towards Complexity. Okay. I feel like Veloce doesn't quite have the offensive firepower I want to see to be able to win a game consistently. I do like the pressure Complexity applies. There are a couple of great challenges from Veloce that can get them some chances, but Complexity is the team to me that feels like, all right, they at least keep things locked down. They can really build up some pressure and threaten the net.
Yeah, I want to see Veloce I want to see them up on offense. They're reminding me of the Knights from yesterday, where I feel like defense seems pretty solid. There's some good rotations there. The midfield control, like they're winning challenges in the midfield. They're even getting it around the corner sometimes. But then just for some reason, they're just never in position to take that shot. They never seem to be in the place where they can get like the one shot, the two shot, the two. I would like to see them hit the crossbar 3 times right now. Like that would be that would be an improvement.
Put some fear into them.
Yeah, just take the shots. But I think we're ready to get into Game 3, folks, and we will get started on Wasteland. Going on in. Be Flakes against Freaky on the kickoffs here. Cassio Magnus has a double diagonal. I got bamboozled. Freaky out of the backfield. Plays to the corner, back behind both of Complexity's defenders rotating in, and a nice pass play and great start for the offense from Veloce. We said we wanted to see some, and they give it to us.
Yeah, Flakes and Magnus really just trying to make sure they don't run into each other as they go for that clear. Unfortunately, it pops right into the middle. Greasy's waiting in the far corner because he's got 2 teammates defending the near post, and he's not really driving into the middle of the net to pull a potential shot out because he just doesn't think one is possible. And so he can't get on the right side of the ball to pop it clean.
Magnus got brutally pit maneuvered in the corner, completely out of boost, has the long rotation back. But the ball stays glued to the wall and doesn't actually cross in front of the box. Another infield pass, this one just wide, and Flame will adjust. Cassio wants to take control. He's going to be up after Magnus, though, so he's going to lose control.
Man, I feel like they heard me.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, Veloce, I don't feel like you got the firepower. Well, they're bringing the heat to start off Game 3.
Infield passes, let's go. Channel our inner Cloud9 here. Magnus out to the side, Cassio onto the backboard now, following it himself. Flakes takes it away, but here comes Flame in, pick up the slack, looks for a pass outwards, gets it underneath one. Magnus will have the clear. Nobody was crashing the box. Flame did a quick turnaround. Might be a bit low on boost here. He's only got 25 left as he's falling on this one. Magnus will find the clear. Now Freaky past one. Greasy over the top towards the goal. Cassio just back down into the middle of the field. Flame with a bit of space. He'll loft it, and Magnus will play to the corner. The rest of Veloce, here comes Cassio. Now it's going to be Freaky's turn. On the side, Greasy gets it past him. Flame out to the side. Cassio, nobody there to challenge him. He's pretty much out of boost. It would have been an easy challenge, but it's like all the rest of Complexity also low on boost.
So in this game, just sitting here watching Greasy, he really does, he's the guy in charge of the clears mostly. He'll let Flakes and Magnus be the first 2 to challenge, and then he'll just rotate behind them and play that back post defense and be like, all right, anything gets by you, I'll clear it to the corner, take it up the wall, and go for the long clear, and we'll just reset. It seems to be his approach, at least in this game.
It was a fireburner role of just the cleanup.
Yeah, really just lock down the back line.
Flame rotates out, doesn't feel brave enough to challenge that corner, and now he'll go up against Magnus, but the challenge in the midfield is neutral. Both players having to expend boost to get the ball nowhere. It's Freaky. His own corner. Chooses to punt it over the top of one. Magnus in the corner will have control as he's got 2 uncontested contacts. As Greasy tries to get it to Magnus. Ball spending a lot of time right now on the side walls. Both teams kind of trying to use the corner to get the ball in front of the goal. Well, dribble it around and then like pass it into the box, and there's no one's getting that last step completed.
Yeah, there is a lot of space for both teams when it gets popped out against the sidewall. But here's a missed touch, and Freaky will collect.
I guess it finally works. Again, ball spending time in the corner, and Magnus this time just not quite able to make contact to keep it glued to the wall. It pops out for Freaky, and the rotation was getting boost right now. There's a little bit slow coming in there. 2-0 now. 2 goals scored in a game. How about it?
I don't believe it. But yeah, that really was just a slight misplay from Magnus. Just wanted to keep that ball stuck to the wall, like you said, because his plan was tap it up the wall, grab the boost, and go for the long clear off the wall again.
Flakes with the win. Cassio shut down the rest of that play. And Freaky with not the best touch in the corner here, but Flakes just takes his time. He wants to get a really solid one, but this gives Flame time to read it as well. Now the ball goes into the blue. The rest of the defense from Veloce getting crowded, and now one touch from Magnus over the top of one. Cassio will find a nice clear on a difficult angle. It's Greasy now towards the back wall. Flames up for it, shuts down the play. Cassio and Freaky, a bit of confusion in the net as to who's moving forward on the rotation. Cassio will put it into the corner. Flakes takes his time, but he'll find Greasy in the midfield. A shot is a bit high, but gets 2 defenders out of it. Flame will get the clear, but where's the rest of the pressure? Here comes Magnus. He's got Flakes in the midfield. Freaky's up for the challenge. Gets it over the top. Actually finds Flame, who was aggressively positioned, but it goes back. Now Magnus comes back in once more. The clears still hold on for Veloce. But the pressure for Complexity getting a little bit better here. They're going to need 2 goals in just over a minute. They want to see overtime.
A little bit better is right, but they need to win the balls in the midfield. Like Flakes, you can't get beat to that ball. Cassio, of course, had the much better approach. The pass wasn't good. Greasy trying to go across the pitch, and Flakes can't collect that either.
Here comes Flakes with one more opportunity. This time beaten by Flame. And Magnus back into the mid. Flakes finally finds a nice touch towards the goal. This clear is not good, but lucky for them, Magnus was not ready for Freaky's touch to be so subpar, and the rest of the defense is able to clean it up. Greasy coming off the ceiling, tries to pass down, actually gets it past Flakes instead. And now Cassio on the punish. Magnus will clear it to the side. Magnus, a player who built a reputation for being an absolute wall of a defender. We'll keep that going here in Season 8. Flakes dumps it back to his own corner, just trying to keep it away from his box. Right now, defense is not going to win them this game. They have to find a way to score in 20 seconds. With every second that goes by, I think it's less likely.
Oh, Flakes has Greasy.
What a save.
Cassio, great understanding of where that pass was headed. Shut down the shooting lane, but last chance here. I'm not sure if they've got the time.
I think it's all over. So he goes towards the goalie. Might even get one more for the road. Cassio puts in a 3rd goal. We'll get a 1-second kickoff, and the game will end 3-0.
Man.
And Veloce now on match point against Complexity.
You're absolutely right, Wavepunk. And it came as a complete surprise to me, because I really didn't feel like in games 1 and 2, Veloce's not out here just winning the ball over and over in the midfield. But boy, honestly, they didn't even really do that particularly this game either. It was just the ball got stuck in the midfield a lot, and then Veloce would be the ones to come down with the possession and push it into the corner. And then Complexity made 1, the missed touch that cost them a goal, and then 2, it was just fantastic pressure from Veloce. I mean, that's exactly what I said they weren't doing. They came out there and did it.
They absolutely did. And it's been interesting. Both North America and Europe have started with 3 games that were all shutouts. Every team that won was the only team to score goals in that game. Game 4 was where the trend broke in North America, where we had both teams get on the board. Let's see what happens here. So Veloce had all the numbers in that one. Everybody got a goal. Nice even distribution of score, 400, 400, and 300.
Some real lack of execution from Complexity as well. They had a couple of great opportunities down on the other side, like Flakes not able to collect a couple of passes, Greasy trying to go for a very fine touch down to a teammate that had pre-jumped. It's like the ideas are there, it's just the execution is, it's such a high degree of difficulty and an insanely difficult approach to a play, and they just don't have the ability to execute that.
Yeah, no, the amount of times it seemed like they were going for a pass play in the midfield to move upwards, and they got beat to the ball. The player who was being passed to wasn't there. And part of that is on the person passing to make sure that they put it on power onto their teammate's hood. But also part of it is to make sure that you know where to be. So as we get into Game 4, we'll see if they can tighten it up. The one mistake that I think was kind of the real problem for Complexity was that Magnus touch in the corner that just gave the ball straight to Freaky for goal 2. That was kind of when the game got out of hand.
Play, sometimes things get away from you, and already trying to pick up right where they left off. Complexity with the pressure, but Flakes cuts 1. And weak touch.
Ooh, Freaky stops him and then gets kind of reverse Goomba stomped, but Flame is able to come in and get it back to midfield. Now Freaky picking up control. I like this pressure. It's Magnus over to the side. And there's Flame. Bumped high over the ball. Magnus moves back down, manages to get control over the top of Cassio. The Freaky will have to clear in the backfield. Blake's in his own corner. High on the wall. Flame wins the challenge. Greasy back down. Cassio tries to pick this up. He's got 2 players to beat. Gets it past 1. Nearly finds the bump on Flakes. Doesn't matter. Freaky's there to clean up, and Veloce's got the lead again.
Flakes has a lot of information to try and parse through quickly. Nice shot from Cassio. Is it in? No. Okay. It bounced off the post and out in the middle. Where do I have to be? Just a lot of stimulus to take in, and couldn't read the ball bouncing back and forth left to right that quickly. Just a great pressure again from Veloce.
Oh, the fake on 1 nearly gets it past Flakes, but he gets the save this time. And now Complexity looking for a counterattack. Greasy, what does he do out of this corner here? This is a difficult situation. He gets it past 1. He'll look for the pass down. Finds Flakes, but Freaky's in the way, and Flakes didn't really make contact, I don't think. A rough situation as they've tried again. Greasy had to fall back on what could have been an extended offense, but felt the strengthening of the defensive positioning was more important. Now Flame into the corner. Flakes will pick this one up, but interference from Veloce just continues to plague Complexity. Can't get the ball out of their own back third. Finally, a clear comes through. But Casio into the midfield. Freaky will lose this one to Greasy, and now a scoring opportunity for Complexity as it falls straight down. Magnus versus Casio. The shot is very, very soft and off the crossbar. Casio will find the clear just fine.
Those are the chances that need to be in, and now they won't have as much space to work with. But Flakes has another chance. Air dribble, pop tie. Greasy going to force the issue, and Magnus has to wait for just a moment to make sure his teammates are in position.
Yeah, Greasy effectively clearing that to the side. Complexity having a rough time of it here in game 4. Freaky looks for bumps. Greasy towards Flakes. It looks like he maybe has outdistanced his teammate he has.
But again, it's like that's the idea. It's the long cross. It's away from defense. It's a beautiful idea. It's just it's slightly off target, and that makes it so much more difficult to shoot strongly.
Flakes over to the side now. So he looks to clear here and gets it past one. The second challenge, not entirely unfavorable, but Flame was there first, and then a double commit of disastrous proportions, and Freaky will double tap that, and he made that way harder than it needed to be, but this one entirely was Magnus and Greasy completely blowing their goal wide open.
Yeah, you absolutely said it. There's not much else that needs to be said. Freaky would like to make sure to go practice that one in training so he doesn't risk blasting it off the bar again, but either way, back into the car and make it a 2-0 lead.
I just want to see Complexity score. I want both teams to have a goal in the game, but a third one sneaks in. Casio just able to beat the defender on the backboard near the floor. Kickoff goal for Veloce.
Just a tough ball to deal with for Greasy. I think he was expecting that ball to bounce straight down, but it hit just the right angle on that corner and bounced out away from him to where he couldn't really make a play on the ball.
Here at halftime, down by 3. And on match point, Complexity has to kick it into 7th gear at this point, or else say goodbye to this first series. Veloce, the Cinderella story. We talked about it, a nice attempt there from Complexity, but it's cleared by Casio. This would be a great way to start their first season. A season they weren't supposed to be playing, but now taking it to a team that qualified ahead of them. Flakes the pass inwards. Freaky downfield, Greasy across.
And again, it's looking for Magnus, but it's off the mark.
Casio's shot a bit high and wide. Magnus will look to carry it out, but losing a challenge in the corner. The one place where it seems like Complexity has been the most consistent is the first challenge to get out of their half. They can get the ball to midfield pretty consistently. It's then it falls apart once they get into the orange here.
That was a problem that I said Ghost used to have a lot of issues with. They would make a good clear, and then it would be the transition play, the pass up the field somewhere that just wasn't executed properly.
As a play past one with Flakes, looks for a double tap, but loses control of it on the back end of the drive. Magnus demolished in the midfield, leaves Flakes alone. A bump in the mid kind of opens up a bit of space for both teams here, but Flakes not able to beat Flame. Greasy passing it back towards his teammate, but Flakes is rotating out and gets demolished on his way. Magnus dropping into this corner. Where Flakes spawns will kind of affect how the Complexity rotation pans out. He spawns in the favorable corner. With 1 minute remaining, Complexity. This one's looking a bit out of reach.
They really just haven't had much chance to clear the ball. I mean, there's been 13 shots from Veloce. I was sitting here watching game 1 and 2, and Veloce is not really lighting up the scoreboard. Then games 3 and 4 roll around, and now it's just Complexity just boxed in.
It's Flakes to the side, 25 seconds at this point, just getting any goals in the board to help with their stats. They've scored 1 goal in 4 games of RLCS so far.
Haven't scored since game 2.
Freaky up in the corner here, 13 seconds left. The pressure continues from Casio, can't even get out of the corner. The thing that they were excelling at through the rest of the series has become difficult in the final minute for Complexity. 4 seconds left. Do they have enough control to get 1 goal in? Looks like Magnus actually just going to say, let's just get out of this. Let's go somewhere else. Veloce takes game 4 in 3-1.